it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, where I'm like, you're failing your business because you're not taking responsibility for what you need to get done, right?
Like if you're a habitual excuse maker, I'm more concerned about that than like you just don't know what to focus on. We can redirect that really, really easily.
Are you crazy? Do you know how much land there is in this country? I saw a post the other day that said Tennessee is losing 200 acres a day of agricultural land to development. One state can lose that much land a day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We have Darrick Bourgeois again on the show. Darrick, pumped to have you here. Really exciting topic, and you see it firsthand a lot. Why people kind of struggle in this business, and I think we're going to talk about it from an entrepreneur's land mindset, but also like an entrepreneur mindset, because a good entrepreneur is going to be successful in this business. Like a good entrepreneur is going to, it doesn't really matter what business they're in. But welcome to the show, Darrick.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, this is a topic I've wanted to cover probably since I started land investing, right? Like I think I obviously come from a very entrepreneurial mind. That's just how I am. And so like this stuff, I brought in a lot of things from my past businesses into this business, and it seems to work really well. And I've shared a lot of this with my coaching clients. So I'm excited to dive on into this sort of stuff.
I'm pumped for this one and to get your perspective. And Dan and I have talked about stuff like this, but you are so hands-on with people like in the grind of their business, being one of our coaches who's doing this business himself. Like you work with so many different types of people who are so successful in 30 days, people who never make anything happen. What is like the one, if I just had to ask you one thing, like of what makes someone successful in this business, what is it?
I mean, 100% it's consistency. Like we talk about that a lot in even in like the boot camp and stuff, right? A lot of it, what we talk about is consistency in marketing, right? Like getting your marketing out. But it's so much more than that. It's consistency about just pushing that business forward. I think if I was going to tell somebody to do anything, it would be like if someone was like struggling with their business, I'd say, how consistent are you in your education, in your marketing, in, like almost every aspect of the business you need to be consistent and consistently pushing forward in that business. I think that's the biggest thing that I find people who aren't successful struggle with that consistency for the most part.
And I'm sure you see it, like people who are like complaining or whatever it is, like when's the last call you've been on? Like why haven't you scheduled a call with me in 6 weeks? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that's probably part of it. Like you get coaching calls every 2 weeks. Like you're not sending, like there's just an aspect and a mindset behind it. And it's not just, we talk a lot about marketing consistency. And I like that you brought up other aspects. Like, are you doing this business consistently? Are you consistently learning? Are you consistently growing? I think that's the number one thing. Like, are you actually growing yourself, becoming a better land investor every day? And I'm sure you kind of get a feeling of the people that are like constantly pushing themselves to get better, right?
Absolutely. Like I could usually tell within our first, even just in our onboarding meeting, who I'm going to have to push on to like really hold their feet to the fire, and who are going to kind of take the ball and run, right? And it's very obvious from the get, even if they're not previously entrepreneurs, maybe they're coming from a W-2, but they just have that entrepreneurial mindset coming into a business, and I think that's super important. And yeah, I think it makes or breaks your business for sure. I think one of the biggest things that I remember doing, and consistency really means like taking a look at the long term, right? Like being short term consistent isn't being consistent, right? I sent out 3 mailers, like great, good head start. We're moving in the right direction, but like I want you to start thinking about 30,000 mailers, right? Like that was when I first started my business. That was my mindset, right? I got my first deals in. I was going to send out 10,000 mailers. Got some deals, got some cash in, and I'm like, all right, I'm redeploying this, and I'm like a lion chasing a gazelle, and if I don't kill this gazelle, I'm not going to eat. And that 30,000 mailer, and I still, I keep it on my whiteboard here because I love mentioning it to my coaching clients, and I'm so glad I didn't erase it. But it was like I did not care what my results were. I was going to mail 30,000 mailers in 6 months. Like that was. And I did it, right? And I had it scheduled, and I knew exactly what I was doing. And regardless of my outcome, I wanted to see what that kind of consistency gave my business, right? And It made my business. Like that was it, right?
It worked out for sure.
Yeah.
Is that, do you see, so you said before, like, you know, in that first call, whether people like what they're going to need from you in terms of that, like what's a normal tell for someone that, like, they just spent money on coaching, they spent good money to get a one-on-one coach. What's a tell for you as a coach? Like, this person's going to need a little bit more of a push. This person, I don't know. What's a tell for you?
Excuses. 100% excuses. I see it so often in, you know, even just getting an onboarding call booked, right? Like, oh, you know, we had all these things come up, and, you know, and they're great excuses, right? And I think that's the thing you have to think of, like, good excuses are still excuses, right? Like, you got to make this happen. Like, this is your business. This isn't my business, right? I love it. I act as if like I'm like a chief operating officer of your business while I'm coaching, right? I'm your COO and we're doing this thing. But it is, at the end of the day, this is your business. And if you're making these small excuses of why you can't get things done, like 100% a tell right off the bat. Like, that's not a great sign to start off like that.
And the reason you're so passionate about it is because you know, like, the impact it can make. Like, you meet someone, you find out their story, like, dude, you got to do this. Like, you got to make this happen. Like, this works. And I think that's why I love it. You're so passionate about it, and like, you know the impact it can make in someone's life if they actually commit them to themselves and have that consistency. It's tough to get past those excuses. Are you blunt with it? Like, we just gotta make it happen. What's your mindset with someone like that?
Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm relatively blunt about it, and you know, it's both good and bad depending on how they take it, right? And I get it. It's like, it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, where I'm like, you're failing your business because you're not taking responsibility for what you need to get done, right? But then I also give them I give them a tool. And this is something that my wife made for me back when I was running my gyms, because I was also making excuses about why I couldn't get things done and why I wasn't pushing our business forward. And like, that, it wasn't just failing it wasn't just myself failing. Like, I'm failing my employees, I'm failing my clients, I'm failing, like, it's so much of, like, I'm failing my own family, right? Like, if I'm going to feed my family from this, like, that's the lion chasing the gazelle aspect. And she made me this thing. It's a PDF, and it's so simple, right? This is like, it seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes it's the simplest things that work the best. And for me, this was like what did it. And I have this, like, we call it the brain dump sheet. And I literally do it every day. Even when I wasn't running a business, I'd do it. And I, like, literally did it this morning, and I'm like, this is my brain dump. And it's we also refer to as eating your frog, right? So it's this PDF. And it's real simple. Every morning I wake up and everything that's in my brain goes down into the brain dump, right? It gets it out of my brain onto paper. So now I don't have to think about it. Like, here it is. Now I can focus on getting things done, right? And then I move things from the brain dump. I'll actually just show you the one I did this morning. I move things from the brain dump up to whether they're going to be a red item, a green item, or a yellow item. And there can be as many things as I want in the yellow items. There's only 4 green items and there's only 2 red items. And the 2 red items are what's pushing that business forward. There's actually 3 red items today because I got a call about a survey that I need to get done. But other than that, there's the things that are red are the eat your frog moments, right? You wake up in the morning and you don't do anything else until those 2 things are done on your red thing. Like, and it could be something small, right? Like, I have 2 10-minute, you can mark down the time on these things, right? You can even see here, it says 10 minutes, right? I mark down the time, how long it's going to take me. So I know, like, hey, if I got 10 minutes in my schedule today, I can call the septic guy in West Virginia and make sure that's set up to happen this weekend, because I'm selling a property on the 30th and I need to get septic approved. So, like, but that's only going to take me 10 minutes, right? But it's one of the most important things that I need to get done today to make sure that they can get it's in an HOA. They got to get into a gate. And so I'm like, I got to make sure that's all set up. And so it's just even just those 2 things to push you forward, right? It could be something like booking your onboarding call. It could be downloading the Redfin sold data, right? That doesn't take that long, but it's like, it pushes you forward, right? And I've walked so many of my clients through, like, all right, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to get a deal, right? Let's break it down into these small bite-sized steps. And let's say we're doing 2 of these big things every day. And what does that look like, right? And no more excuses. Like, if you don't have a ton of time that day, they just need to be short things, but they need to push. You need to consistently put pressure on your business to move it forward. Like, you're always doing something, right?
That's a good lesson. Is like, not every lever that is impactful takes the full day or takes 3 hours. Like, there are some levers, like, you just got to do this. Like, stop wasting 4 hours choosing your company name or some crap like that. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, some levers that don't, or some things that don't do anything for your business positively might take you a full day. Then you look back, like, what did this actually do? It didn't do anything. And then there's things like, I need to get a free trial for something, or I need to sign up for launch control, or I need to choose my first county. If you sit down and you've done county selection on 20 counties or something like that, I need to lock in today what is going to be my first county that I'm going to market to. And something like that is so impactful because, okay, that gets you to, all right, I have this county, now I pull the list, and then I market, and then you get your deal. Talk about, I think, so many time wasters, and like there's just so many things that people get caught up on, Darrick, that keeps them from making money in this business. Because at the end of the day, what makes money is sending out marketing, talking to leads, whatever sending out marketing means, marketing to sellers, talking to leads, buying land, selling land. That's how you make money in this business, right?
Yeah. I think people look at some of those small things as like Mount Everest things, right? A lot of the operational stuff, right? I see people that like get hung up on like making a website. You are not the first person to make a website. You don't think there's like there's like people out there to help you build a website. You can hire a guy on Fiverr for $5 to help you make a website, right? Like there's drag and drops. I did a drag and drop off GoDaddy, right? Like that's just, you just have to, that's not a Mount Everest. You just get it done, right? 30 minutes of your time and get that website up. You can go back and fix it, right? It's not a static thing. Like once you're locked in, it's not that big of a decision. Same thing with like naming your business. Same thing with like getting your Facebook page. Same thing with like getting your Google Voice number. Like that takes 2 minutes.
Yep.
Like you just get, that's the other rule. If it's less than 2 minutes, you just do it. Like you don't, like there's nothing that's on my list that's less than 2 minutes. It's just you just get it done. Once you think about it, you write it down, you just go do it real quick and scratch it off your list. Because there's so many things in this business that are less than 2 minutes. Downloading the sold comps from Redfin is a big one, right? But that, like, just that little bit of momentum, like I've downloaded the sold comps. Well, now let me price out 2 to 3 acres, right? Like that's another 2 minute thing. You just get that done. And if that's all you did, you moved it forward, right? We push it forward, but now you've started getting a groove a little bit. You know, you can go back and keep doing that stuff. But yeah, I think that's all that stuff's super important, and not wasting time with silly things.
Yep.
You know, just
and I've been in the position before, and I'm sure a lot of people, like, you write down a list for a day, you're like, this is overwhelming, this is too much, and you write down a list, like the list legitimately is like Mount Everest, instead of just like, all right, let's choose some impactful things. And like, this is very, some stuff like people struggle to overcome more, like changing the mindset around this. I think you've probably seen it too in people, like you can definitely overcome like being able to focus on the right stuff. Like it is not the hardest thing. Like if you're a habitual excuse maker, I'm more concerned about that than like you just don't know what to focus on. We can redirect that really, really easily. And I think that's a lot of the thing is like, dude, like you don't need to spend time on this. Like let's focus on the important things in your business. You only got 90 days with Darrick. You can extend everything like that. But if you're a coaching student, something like that, you only got 90 days with Darrick. Make the most of it because he can make a huge impact in your business.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a time frame, right? Like some people are like, I need to get out of my job, or I just quit my job, right? Like that is you have to go now. Like there's no more waiting. There's no more excuses. At the end of the day, you're the one holding the bag. And so like if you either get it done or you don't. And I think that's that mentality that I need to see for someone who's going to be successful in this business, you know?
What do you see? Because we talked about like a big red flag is like excuse making that first call, which you can work on, obviously. Like
sure.
You just got to like be blunt. I think at the end of the day, like this, like we got to make this works. We got to figure it out, or whatever the reason is. What are like the green flags that like, okay, this person's here ready to roll? I think one thing in my mind is, and I've always seen this, is people who come in like, I'm willing to spend send 30,000 mailers. I am doing this. Like it's not a month by month thing where I'm evaluating. I'm doing this over the next 6 months. But what do you see from that first call? People who are like, you're very confident they're going to be successful in this business.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a big one is like, how quickly are you getting things done? Right? How much engagement am I having with you? My best clients I'm engaging with 2 or 3 times a week. Like they're always like reaching me out. They're keeping me posted on how their business is doing, right? If I'm having to reach out to you to say, hey, what's going on with that deal? Like that's not, we need to like, you need to keep that, so that communication flow with, whether it's with myself or with your other business partners or whatever you're doing. But like that kind of motivation, I see them come in and they just like, they're focused. A lot of them come in like on their onboarding call and they already have their county selection done. Like that is great. And that momentum, like it says to me, like you have the right headspace. You've already started this. Like they've gone through the whole boot camp already. They've watched it twice. They've read the book, right? Like that's a huge one now. People are like, I read the book twice. And I'm like, you're my guy. Like, let's go, you know, like that kind of motivation. Like you've done these things on your own already. Like you've already jumped in a little bit. And now I could, that's something that I can work with, you know.
It pumps you up too, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's just the best. Like, you know, and now it's my job to keep that momentum going, right? And I see this a lot as well. And I think this is something that especially new entrepreneurs fall into, is that, you know, we send our first mailer out and we don't get that deal, right? Or I send out my first batch of text messages and I didn't get a deal. And now it's kind of like, right? And I see that so often. And that's like one of the hardest things. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, that this business is going to be ups and downs forever. Like I show them, that's generally when I show the 30,000 mailers, and I show the 3 counties in a row that I mailed that I hardly even got a phone call on, right? And then my next county where I got two deals on one county, and now we're back in the game, right? Like it's gonna happen, right? You just have to stay motivated and stay consistent, and don't focus on the things that aren't happening, but focus on the things that you're doing to get where you need to go, right? I think a lot of times people, that's that trap that you fall into midway through the starting of your business, is you fall into the things that didn't happen. And like that's in every business. You open your doors and nobody's there, right? Like that happens all the time. I see it in town, right? Grand opening, store's empty, restaurant's empty, right? But like, is that it? Are you done now? Like you failed? No, like you've invested. You're either gonna, you know, let the rubber hit the road, or you're out, right? And I think that's like keeping that motivation going and being like, I'm focused on getting 30,000 mailers out. I don't care what the response is, you know, or 10,000 mailers or whatever it is. 10,000 texts this month. Do it, right? I think that's so important.
Ever wondered how land investing can be the fastest path to financial freedom? I break it all down in my new book, One Lot at a Time. I'll show you exactly how to find, buy, and flip land for huge profits without dealing with houses, tenants, or any crazy renovations. It's simple. This is the book that I wish I had when I first started. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, grab a copy now. One Lot at a Time by Daniel Apke. Find it at your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
Yeah, that's huge. And yeah, like you said, like keeping that momentum is so important. And it's I don't want to say easy to lose, but it's definitely something that like you got to keep them excited. Like there's greener grass, everything like that, because there are going to be hurdles too, Darrick, and like getting those people through the hurdles and having not false expectations at the same time. Like we gotta this has to be a 90-day process. But is there a type of person that like gets through those hurdles a little easier, or is it all start with that first phone call or that first onboarding call where you kind of like get an inside look at what their mindset is around this business?
It definitely starts with that onboarding call for sure. Everything. I mean, I'm getting their mindset right off the bat, right? Like, you know, if you've made excuses about not being able to get your onboarding call in, like I already have an avatar in my mind of who this is, right? And so I think it all starts with that first call, and it also starts with that first mailer, and it also starts with that first deal, right? Like some people get that first deal and then that's it, right? Like then they start getting too relaxed. They're not doing their red things every day. They pull back a little bit and like, I figured it out, right? I learned the thing, right? And we all know that's not the case. Like every deal is so different. And so it's keeping people motivated from the beginning, keeping them pushing forward. And even when it gets tough, like what are you doing to put pressure on your business? How are you pushing this forward, right? And there's so many things inside of that we talk about. Like consistency is important, but then, you know, like how are we learning, how are we like doing the basics? Like we need to learn these basics. I think a lot of people also go, whoop, shiny object syndrome. A lot of people in this business get shiny object syndrome because, how we get clients a lot of times is through YouTube, right? The YouTube algorithm sends them stuff, right? This could be a shiny object for somebody, right? Maybe they were doing wholesaling, maybe they were doing flips, right? All of a sudden they're like, I'm gonna get into land, right? And so I think we get like the shiny object people as well, and saying, hey, there's a lot of shiny objects inside this business, that are awesome. I love, subdivide plays. I love double closing. I love, all the little things that you can spin off of this business, entitlements, like all the things you can do. But getting good at doing the basics first and learning those basics and doing them like uncommonly well. I think that's also a huge thing for people. And we're seeing that like across the board. You had Seth and Autumn on, right? Like they do the common uncommonly well. Like their letter that they send out that they modified it's awesome. Like 6 deals in one county in their first county that they ever mailed.
Incredible.
Like that says something, right? Like they did an awesome job with county selection. They did an awesome job with sending out that letter. But like we all send letters, right? I still send the basic one, and I'm getting deals. But have I ever gotten 6 deals in one county? Sure haven't. Like literally on my list today is looking to custom letters. Like, yeah, I'm doing that now, right? I need to start doing some of the common things uncommonly well. And it goes back to all the basic things that we do in here: county selection, pricing, marketing, like writing your text messages. Something as simple as that. Like, how customized are you making those? Are you making those text messages? Are you just using the ones that whoever our text platform is telling us to use, or are we getting in there and we're fixing these text messages to create more engagement with people? Like that, we're all sending text messages, but some people are having better success because they're doing the common thing uncommonly well.
Mm-hmm. How do you know, like, as a new student, 3 months in, whatever, like, how do you know that you're doing something uncommonly well, as you put it? Like, how do you know you're not doing too much? Because we also talk about not being bogged down. Like, maybe someone's like, I want to make my website uncommonly amazing, which can be a thing. I'm sure it can. But is there a way to know, like, from a person's perspective, like, I want to do this as well as I can, but I also don't want to overdo it, if that makes sense?
Sure. Yeah. And I think you can really slip into like that shiny object syndrome inside of that as well, right? Like, I think obviously you learn the basics, right? And we talk about that a lot is, and I know you have I think you have a podcast coming out about, crawl, walk, run. So kind of piggybacking on that, you can find these things in your business. And I think it's just not doing too much at once. Like focusing on one thing that you can improve in your business at a time, hyper focus, get that dialed in. And then once you're happy with how that is and how that's performing, then move on to something else, right? Like we're not going, hey, we're going to do, like, for me, a big thing with new land investors is county selection, right? Like the way I do county selection is I take what you've learned in the boot camp and I add on to that. I always say the data gets us 50% there, but the whole other 50% is looking at the land. Like what kind of land are we doing? What kind of sales density are we getting in the county? Because that's going to come to play when we start selling these properties. I need lots of comps, right? Like I want to do a county that's got lots of sales throughout the whole county, not they're just all in one area. So like I'm looking at a lot of different factors. What kind of homes are built in the area? Is it trailers or is it nice homes? Like that's going to affect how I'm marketing to that county. So I dive really deep into county selection. So right away, I want my clients doing that common thing uncommonly well, right? And like Seth and Autumn took it to another level with modifying their letter. It's a great letter, and I think that's doing something that's uncommonly well. And they just took that one thing, right? I'll teach you the county selection, and now they're like, all right, well, we're going to do a custom letter. Love that, right?
Yep.
Or you're going to hire Nick Yu and you're going to do colored envelopes. Like that's not something that's like a big jump, right? For somebody to go, hey, I'm just going to do this one little thing and see how that performs, right? That's just a quick, like, we're all sending letters. That's common. Sending out letters that are pink and yellow with little dog stickers on them, that's uncommonly well, right? Like, and he has that data to back that up, that's like one of those things that can improve, the open rate. It's great. If you want to focus on open rate, that's a great thing to do.
And I think the cool thing is, like, you can use your background, whatever industry you're coming from, to like if you're coming from a data spot, like look at data a little more. If you're coming from, like you said, Seth and Autumn, like they come from a publishing background. So they're like, okay, how do I, like, they really think about the copy on the letter. If you come from a design background, design oriented. So like you can use your sales background. Like I need to figure out how to get as many people on the phone as possible. Like I need to be the best salesperson in land flipping. So I don't think it's about doing everything, but it's like, all right, I'm just starting this business. Here's the aspects of the business: data, marketing, sales, all these. What can I do better than anyone else, or try to do better than anyone else? And I think that's like a good starting point. It's a good mindset thing too, Darrick. Like, and where it's like, okay, it's on me. It's not on the business. It's not, that gets you away from an excuse mindset. Like I need to do this as well as anyone else, and there's going to be an impact.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and that's a great point. Like everybody comes in with some specialty, right? From whatever their background is. I got a couple clients that are they're data guys, right? They I don't know. I'm not a data guy, so I don't even know what they do. It's way above my pay grade. But they've created like this pricing thing where they are drawing these like little hexagon things throughout the whole county, and they're pricing each little hexagon when they pull data to get accurate pricing. And it's like there's code involved. I don't know. It's wild, but they're getting like this super accurate pricing. So now they don't have to do like polygon pricing or zip code pricing. Like they're going, I'm gonna take this county, put my little grid over the top of it, and now I'm getting really accurate pricing for every little hexagon in the area. And I'm like, that's incredible. Like that is something that's like next level that I can't wrap my head around, but they're doing pricing better than me, better than, it's impressive. So,
and they look internal. When they don't get the results, they look internal, opposed to like, what could we have done better here? And I think this whole conversation kind of goes full circle when we talk about like, okay, you try and like, okay, what did you do differently? Like, did you make any adjustments? Did you call every single person back? Like, what did you do differently instead of like, this doesn't work, this is saturated, this is that, and like an excuse mindset, like really, and I think that can really flip your mindset, guys. Like, it really is. The people, we're never surprised about who's successful in this business. It's not like we just pull from a hat or it's just a random thing, whoever is successful in this business. Like, they go at the business, they take it very seriously. And I think kind of, like I said, going full circle, those are the people, Darrick, long term who are going to be in this business, are the people that really kind of give it their all, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the like what you said, like what could we be doing better? Like, we know this system works. Like, anybody wants some data, you can come talk to any of my coaching clients. Like, we get deals, we do that stuff. And I think that when the people who are most successful don't go, well, this isn't working because there's so many people doing it. Are you crazy? Do you know how much land there is in this country? And do you know how many few people we actually have comparative to all the acres of land? Like, I saw a post the other day that said Tennessee is losing 200 acres a day of agricultural land to development. 200 acres a day. Like, that is a staggering amount. Like, one state can lose that much land a day to development. Like, that alone should blow your mind and go, that's a staggering amount of land in one state that's being developed. Like, what? Not oversaturated. That's not an excuse, right? Like, you can just pull any sort of data up and look at that. Like, and there's so many excuses that you can make about, I did this and it didn't work and so I'm out. Like, then this isn't your business, right? Like, if that little pebble in your shoe is going to stop you from moving forward, like, maybe look somewhere else for a different business that's going to be a little bit easier, or a W-2. But like, this works. Like, if you can do what we say to do and stay consistent with it and go, this is my business, and take it and run, it's huge.
Yeah, and seeing the people, the success stories, I'm sure drives you a lot in terms of seeing people like Seth and Autumn who don't want to go back to a W-2 or just want to be able to do this full time, or like all these other stories of people who just like, they commit and then like crazy things happen. Like, if you take a little bit of I don't know if you want to call it a leap, whatever you want to call it, like a leap of faith, whatever, you're going into this business, you're committing to this business, and like it's insane the amount of stories, the people that are coming from under Darrick in terms of like people who he's worked with, everything like that. So it's definitely possible, and like coming in with excuses definitely isn't the way to go. Anything else, Darrick, that you wanted to add on this topic? There's a lot of gold, as you say, as you could say, in this 30-minute podcast thus far. Anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, the main thing is just for anybody who's like struggling with the business or any business in general, like the question you have to ask yourself every day is, what am I doing to keep pressure on my business? How am I moving it forward? If anybody wants to jump in my DMs and I'll send you the PDF, knock yourself out. If you're I'm a hard paper kind of guy. Like my desk is covered in paper. So if anybody needs that, come grab me in Discord. I'll send it out. It's on my desktop. I just drag and drop it to you real easy. But whatever you need to do to continue to keep pressure on your business to move it forward, I think is like the most. Also, I do want to add this in because somebody asked me like if I can give one piece of advice, and I said something about consistently and keeping pressure, and mostly it was because around my failures. A lot of times those failures like stopped me, right? And even in my land business, like when I funded my own deal the first time and I ran out of money because I put a bunch of money out front, right? And I didn't have any money for marketing. But I continued to push forward. I continued to download data. I continued to prep mailers. So when I did sell my land, that I was ready to hit the ground running again. I think that was really important. But learning those lessons and failing fast, like that consistency moving forward, I think is super important, because not only will you have success faster, but you will fail faster. And the sooner you can get through some failures and learn some lessons, the sooner you're going to be able to just excel, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's amazing advice. And Darrick's someone he's done it faster than just about anyone in terms of like going from not being in land to being extremely successful. Now he's coaching people. So it's awesome where you've come from, Darrick, and like the lessons and like how much you've helped people also is really cool. And all different types of people. Not everyone who comes in. You wouldn't expect everyone who comes in, like some people are like, oh, shoot. And then they turn the corner. They get out of that excuse-making mindset, which is amazing to see. Like those are the coolest success stories.
Yes.
Like you flip their mindset. Like, you just got to keep on pushing. Like this isn't going to work. Like if we keep doing what we're doing, it's not going to work. You can make it work, but we gotta change the mindset behind this. We got to make changes ourselves instead of blaming other things. But yeah, appreciate it, Darrick, coming on once again. Always a pleasure. Other than that, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below. Listen on Spotify or Apple. Share this with a friend. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.